flower and grows all his own vegetables. So the food that you're eating in the restaurant is absolutely fresh, and the chefs have devised new and exciting recipes for what they do. Have you ever heard of a program called Master Chef?
Yes, yeah, we've got that here.
Yeah, and we have Master Chef Canada as well. But I think that it used to be in the 70s that you ate well in Montreal and not as well. It was sort of more, shall we say, simple or plain fare in Toronto. And now I think Toronto has world-class culinary everything everywhere, with world-class chefs who are winning awards all over the world. And they are Canadianizing the recipes with ingredients that are found in Ontario, like the maple syrup.
Yeah, the farm-to-table food must taste amazing. I mean, over in the...
It is truly. And I don't know, there's something natural about the flavors that is quite remarkable. We participated in a couple of foodie festivals in the last couple of years as a tourism organization. And there were people driving up from southern United States to go to the foodie festival in Toronto. It's almost a tourism category in and of itself. I think what Toronto offers that not every city does, I think London probably does, is that it has the diversity of the population that allows you to do a lot of individual palates and new fusion experiences.
If somebody just has one night in Toronto, what meal would you recommend?
Sorry, if one night?
One night. If only got one night in Toronto, where would you recommend, what sort of meal would you recommend they have?
Well, if you want a filet mignon, I could send you to one restaurant. If you wanted General Tso chicken, I could send you to another. There's a restaurant called Canoe that is very popular among quality foods, but there was, I don't know if it's still there, a poutine at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel that was exclusive. I tend to know what it is that I want to eat and then find the restaurant that will give me that particular menu item. It would be hard to pick one.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what I'll suggest?
Yep.
I would suggest that you go to the CN Tower, to the restaurant at the top of the CN Tower, because you would revolve in 1 hour around a view of the entire city while eating fabulously. But I'm really doing that for the sake of the view. Yep. I took my nephew and his girlfriend on the Edge Walk around. I think we timed it so that they were on Edge Walk from 4 to 5 or 5:30, and then right after we went for dinner at the restaurant at the top of the CN Tower. That might be a fun way to spend an afternoon in Toronto.
How does it feel doing the Edge Walk?
Well, I had been in Machu Picchu 2 months before I did it, where there was nothing to hold on to. And an equal distance or more down the cliff to the ground. It's very safe, but you have to be. And I'm not that comfortable with heights, but they do two things that are rather remarkable. One of them is you turn your back to the view, put your heels on the edge of the sidewalk, and because you're roped into this particular attachment, you lean back over the air and spread your arms. That I could do. Halfway around the walk, because you're going around the whole sort of sidewalk, they do the same thing leaning forward. I just stood straight up where I was and put my arms out. I wasn't leaning forward. But it is a breathtaking view. And, of course, you're looking to the south. You're seeing across Lake Ontario towards northern New York. And it's so peaceful and beautiful. And then on the opposite side, you're seeing the heart of the city. And you can see all the iconic architecture of the city, like the Art Gallery of Ontario, the Crystal, the Toronto City Hall, which is this two curved buildings with almost like a spaceship pod in the center. And so you get a real sense of urban. Looking west at sunset, it's a breathtaking view down the shore of Lake Ontario as well. I think everybody should do it. And, unless you're absolutely terrified. And, they do a lot of safety precautions. You're not allowed to have had alcohol within, I think it is 24 hours. You do a breathalyzer. There's a front of your chest and back of your back, something attaching you to harness, yes, and you're in a jumpsuit. You can't have anything that could fall off you, because they don't want anything falling on the heads of the people down below. And the CN Tower now is right beside a new tourism attraction in Toronto, which is the Ripley's Aquarium, which is just huge and has breathtaking fish from all around the world, including Ontario.
Yeah, the CN Tower is definitely on my bucket list. And one day I'll get up there.
Well, let us know when you're coming.
I will do. Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. I was going to ask about what the must-sees and do's are, but you've given so many already during the chat. So
I could go on. I could go on forever.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that being in this job has afforded me is, even though I had lived in Thunder Bay and Ottawa and Oakville and Toronto, and I'd been to Niagara Falls every time anybody comes to visit, I've now seen a lot of the province that I hadn't seen before, like Timmins and Sault Ste. Marie. I had been to Kingston as a teenager. I hadn't been back. And the Thousand Islands boat cruise is very impressive. They have another thing there in the winter. There's now a helicopter that will take you ice fishing. So, when they put the little huts on the frozen water and cut a hole in the ice and you fish through the ice, you can now take a helicopter over the St. Lawrence River and land and go ice fishing.
People actually do that. It's not a...
Oh, yes.
It's not just to make money.
It's extremely popular.
It's just not to take the mickey out of tourists.
Ice fishing is enormously popular all over the province. Yes. There are, I don't know how many species of fish in the province. There are probably thousands. I've never asked anybody for a number. But, if you like trout and you like walleye and muskie, they're extremely, extremely easy to catch. Well, not easy. The muskie, apparently, you have to hunt, and it's, as I said earlier, it's a little more challenging. But fishing is a very popular thing to do in the province. And I think tourists are certainly interested in, if they've never done it, once in a while. There's carp fishing along Lake Ontario as well. Fly fishing on the rivers is becoming more popular. But lake fishing is probably where most of the population are engaged.
You've already said there's loads of festivals in the province, and you've mentioned a few for the winter, but what would you say would be the top 3 to go and see throughout the year?
Well, again, I'd take you to the Festival Events Ontario website, but other than Stratford and Shaw, which are theatre festivals, there's a whole bunch of smaller community theatres that do summer performances. But what's more frequent in the province are weekend festivals. So there's music festivals all over the province all of the time. It's now Gay Pride Month in Ontario. In Canada, the Prime Minister just raised the Pride flag at the Parliament buildings in Ottawa. And, of course, it flies above Toronto for the whole month of from now till middle of July. There's a huge Pride parade in Toronto on July the 3rd this year, very close to Canada Day, which is July the 1st. But in festivals and events in Ontario, they have a wonderful catalog that tells you by month what you should do. There's Francophone festivals, there's strawberry festivals, there's fishing derbies. I couldn't begin to, I literally every day of the year in the summer and every weekend in the winter, there's a festival somewhere in the province. A lot of popular music festivals, a few classical music festivals. There's an Ottawa Chamber Music Festival that's popular. There's a busker festival in Toronto that's very, very popular. Nuit Blanche, that's true, in the fall, which is where the city of Toronto does an overnight festival with all kinds of installations around the city. Sort of country and western music festivals. There's an Elvis festival. Lots of Elvis festivals. We still love Elvis Presley. The Grand River, which is slightly west of Hamilton, which has now said that the Chinese population is becoming a big fan, is sort of an excursion where you go rafting on the Grand River and you get exposed to Aboriginal culture. But July 23rd to 24th, there's the Grand River Champion of Champions powwow. A powwow is sort of a festival of Indigenous dancing, and it is what could I say? It's all day and all night kind of experience involving incredible Aboriginal First Nations costumes and music and dancing and food, and it's quite amazing. Caravana, and so it's just prompting me. Caravana is a Caribbean festival, sort of a Mardi Gras kind of festival in the middle of the summer. There's the Danforth Festival, which is the Greek culture. Every ethnic minority has its own festival sometime during the year. There's Mississauga has a huge caravan festival where multiple Eastern, sort of India and so on festival. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Beer, barbecue, you name it, we've got it.
You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. It's an awful lot to remember. So you've already mentioned your website, but can you be found on social media?
We do Twitter, we do Facebook, we do Periscope, we do Instagram. On the bottom right of our website, it'll say Get Social, and you can check out sort of what people are saying. It's very organic. We try to encourage people to tweet about what they see and what they do. Well, we have a mobile app, so when you're here, you can also sort of connect to #DiscoverOn and kind of connect to what is available in the near vicinity to wherever you are doing, whatever you're experiencing. What restaurant could I go to near here? What attraction is near here? Toronto Zoo has pandas right now. Literally, I could go on and on. I think what people will do is when they go to the website, it divides itself into 13 tourism regions under the sort of the where to go. But then it also has experience categories. So if you're looking for outdoor, here's a bunch of things to do. And if you're looking for culture, here's a bunch of things to do. And then, of course, there are packages where you can buy your hotel and your attraction entrance and all of this thing in one package. So somebody might say, okay, I'm going to go to Toronto. I want some free time, but I'm going to take a day or two to do a specific thing, and I'm going to buy that package.
Well, we've reached the end of the show. We've discovered an awful lot about Ontario and why you should visit. If you have been, please do share your pictures at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. That's the place you'll find all the social media and websites mentioned on this week's show. And it's a place you can contact me too if there's anything you would like to see covered by the show. And I do hope you can join me next time on The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com, where each week I check out before you check in.